Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Asking viewers questions and getting viewer answers. Tony Ornato. And not the singer Tony Orlando and Don. This is Tony Ornato, the former assistant director to the Secret Service. You'll remember him from the Cassidy Hutchinson testimony, where she related that Tony Ornato told her about Trump inside the Beast on January 6th wanting to go to the Capitol, basically to lead the riot. And the Secret Service agent behind the wheel said, no, we're going to the White House. At which point Trump lunged for his neck. Now, Cassidy Hutchinson under oath said Tony Ornato told her this. And then Tony Ornato went in front of the January 6th committee, didn't seem to remember that incident. So, for some reason, she remembers it clearly, and he can't seem to recall. He did retire from the Secret Service, in August of 2022, and was going to take a job in the private sector. He did have 25 years in the Secret Service. Okay, so that's kind of the background on this guy. Why he's of interest. What he's been doing since. There's not a whole lot of news on him other than the fact that they did bring him in front of the January 6th committee 3 times to encourage him to remember what happened, and I don't know if he ever successfully remembered. Kind of like how Cassidy Hutchinson didn't remember things until she got a non-Trump lawyer, and then all of a sudden she was allowed to remember things. Also kind of relates to Mr. Tavares in the Mar-a-Lago case, where actually he lied and said he didn't know anything about anything until they got rid of Woodward, a Trump lawyer, and then all of a sudden he could speak freely about what he knew. Okay, so Tony Ornato, what's his current situation? Entertainment purposes only. What is his current situation? Ace of Pentacles, not reversed, deck is upside down. Money. I don't think this is about health. I think this is about money. Whether it's... And obviously, as I'm asking about this, I really don't care if he's making a bunch of money in the private sector, right? That's not what I'm asking. What I'm asking is... what's going on with him with regards to this story about what happened on the Capitol? Why wasn't he being honest and forthright with it? What's his relation with Trump and the GOP? Money. And probably, given promotions, given more responsibility, and, probably being given more opportunities and wealth. What's going to cross that? Here, Mr. Smith is here. King of Swords. All right. This is already leading into the second question, which the follow-up question was going to be, of all the things that Donald Trump's been involved with, I don't think he's going to be involved in the Mar-a-Lago documents case. He's not going to be involved in Georgia or anything like that. But the January 6th case, he should have some involvement in. And I think that's what we're going to see. I think it's already leaping to the January 6th question that I hadn't asked, but I think it's combining it. Jack Smith and the DOJ are looking into money and money flows that happened with Tony Ornato. In the past, Tony Ornato basically hitched his wagon to the President of the United States. Now, that's not a surprise when you're with the Secret Service. You're supposed to be protecting the president and the office of the president, but this is more than that. This is becoming a willing member of the cult of personality. One of the things I forgot to tell you in my research, Tony Ornato was the head of training for the Secret Service. So if he has hitched his wagon to the cult of personality, how did that impact the training of new Secret Service agents and current Secret Service agents when they go for retraining? That's going to be a big issue, because this is where the cancer and the corruption in the Secret Service could manifest itself. current situation is the high priestess. I think if they haven't interviewed him, they are in the process of interviewing him to understand what happened with Donald Trump on January 6th. It's one thing if you don't want to talk to the January 6th committee. That's kind of a civil thing. But this is a criminal investigation. And you better have a good lawyer, and you better have your memory back on this one, because perjury is a thing. And if you're a participant in this, and there's no necessary connection that he was a participant in the January 6th insurrection, then you might be okay. But if you have also, with those emails that Jack Smith is sitting on, they're probably, with those emails, they probably followed up with him on that. He'll probably have some culpability in here, because how can you be like an assistant director of the Secret Service and kind of not know what was going on with everything around the Capitol building on the days leading up to January 6th. So many major arcana, 3 in a row here. Lesson to be learned is temperance. Giving Tony Ornato time to, detach and decouple from Trump, and giving yourself time to get those emails. God, if they can get those text messages, that would be amazing. You go through and you interview him, and then you go through the emails. You go through these emails and you would interview him because you want to ask him questions that you know the answers to. And maybe he gives you answers that you now have to go back and double check. Was he being honest with you? Did you misinterpret something? And also following the money. Some money came in your hands. How did that money get there? Get an answer. Go confirm that answer. Ask follow-up questions. So we're going to be bouncing back and forth in those cards. Lesson to be learned. Oh dear. Trump derangement syndrome. Lesson to be learned from this temperance is you're starting to separate out the truth from the lies. You're starting to separate out maybe what he assumed was going on with what really was going on. And I think that temperance card is letting the Department of Justice know just what Tony Ornato's role in all this was. How much of Tony Ornato was a rube or a patsy, and how much was it him being willing to support an insurrection? What's going to be the outcome? Ooh, Queen of Cups. The outcome might very well be a deal that Tony Ornato makes with the DOJ. The DOJ, they're going to find stuff out and they're going to keep it under wraps. And I think it's going to be one of those things that's like, you know what? Here's what we know and here's what we want from you. It could be you're going to testify on this, or you're going to tell us everything you know. Tell us what you know, and we'll keep a lid on your bad behavior. Quid pro quo. If you don't tell us what we want to know, you're going to be held accountable for it. So, again, it's playing hardball. But Jack Smith doesn't seem to have a problem playing hardball, which is really nice. Underneath it all is the Nine of Wands. So you got the Ace of Pentacles crossed with Jack Smith. I think that Tony Ornato has been is wary of what's going on. That he knows that the DOJ is looking at him, and he's been through probably more than one interview, and they keep coming back with questions, and it's because they have information that they can fact check him. Okay, so I will follow up. Now we can even go to the follow-up past that. So the original question was, how's the energy on this one? And then the follow-up question was going to be, what was Tony Ornato's involvement with January 6th? Well, sounds like the DOJ is already interviewing him on the events of January 6th. And they've taken his testimony. Again, all this for entertainment purposes only. They've taken his testimony and verified what they could, and then brought back to him the stuff they couldn't verify, and let him, clarify what was going on. And eventually, I think they're going to spell it out for him. Hey, here's what we know, and here's where you are in trouble, and here's how you can get out of trouble. Again, he's got a pension from the government, and you can hold stuff over people. It's kind of dirty pool, but at the same time, the DOJ's got to use their leverage where they can. Trump's folks don't fight fair. I'm not saying it's not fighting fair when you're saying what the potential consequences are and what they could pursue, because it's kind of like letting them know, hey, we can make life really, really difficult for you, or you could cooperate. How do you want to play this? Okay, so what do I want to know? Will Tony Ornato, will he cooperate with the DOJ? Will he give him what they need? Will he give him what he wants? And then they'll leave him alone? Or is he not going to? Is he going to cooperate with the DOJ? Oh, that sure looks like a cooperation card, doesn't it? Two of Cups. Coming to an agreement. Coming to an understanding. Contracts. Yeah, that tells me that they've got a lot of stuff on him, and he's going to protect his self-interests, shall we say. Flip. There's my flip card. Two of Pentacles. He's going to weigh the pros and cons of his current situation, and I suspect he's going to realize that, again, what's going to help Tony Ornato is worrying about Tony Ornato. No. Great. Okay, star card. Center underneath this. He's going to be a star witness. He's going to provide a lot of illumination as to what was going on. God, wouldn't it be nice if he could... if his text messages weren't deleted, you know what I mean? If they had access to that. Oh, I think they're going to get a lot of information, and they're going to get a lot of information quickly with this. When he flips, he's going to become a star witness, and he's going to provide a lot of actionable information for the DOJ. Strength card underneath it. It's Tony Ornato is going to have to acknowledge his mistakes. And he may have to own some of those mistakes. I'm not sure how that would manifest. But I think maybe in some ways, maybe this man has just enough character to own the stuff that he did and try and make amends for it. If nothing else, to save his own butt. Okay, so we can only hope. It's unfortunate that, they can't seem to dig down deep and have morals and ethics before they get corrupted. But I guess maybe the next best thing is for them to rediscover their morals and ethics after they've been corrupted and try to make right by it. Certainly Michael Cohen is an example of somebody who's trying to turn his life around and be remembered for something other than being Trump's personal fixer. William Barr, well, you're a whole lot smarmier than that. And it's going to take more than, criticizing Trump to resolve your ethical and moral lapses and your assault on democracy. A little less forgiving on that one. Maybe Tony Ornato can fall more towards the Michael Cohen side of things, but I think it would be a very quiet one. Anyways, that's my reading on Tony Ornato. I think he knows stuff, and he's going to flip and provide that information to Jack Smith in the January 6th investigation, if he hasn't already. And that's going to be more key information, especially with regards to the Secret Service. and the fact that we don't have text messages allegedly. All right. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for supporting my channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you for my subscribers who, like and share my videos, throw comments in there, and do all the YouTube-y stuff to feed the algorithm beast. Thanks for all the new subscribers. Welcome to the channel. Hope you're finding it entertaining and insightful. Again, hundreds of videos in the past. Go feast on those things. I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.